playing Farming Simulator 17 on Sandy Bay on the RDAllen multiplayer server, and just myself on the server here at the moment. And we're down by a field we currently don't own, field 33. Debating on buying the field here, and maybe doing some poplar saplings here. I know it's been a while since we've done that, so maybe we'll do that here on the multiplayer server. And I figure we'll just buy a field. The sawmill here is kind of right down the road from here, so I figure that might be a good field here to do this at. And it's not too expensive of a field. Only $234,000. It does seem like the fields on this map are rather expensive. At least it just seems that way anyway. I know field 20 here, that's obviously a fairly good-sized field. 1.3 million for this field. Again, like I said, a fairly big field, although it doesn't really feel like it's that big when you compare it to some of the other maps out there. Anyway, if we're going to do some poplar saplings, which we just bought the field for, we are going to need a cedar. So that's going to be under forestry. As far as I know, there's just the one cedar that does poplar saplings. There we go. Tree planter. Yes, we'll take that. And then I suppose we better buy the chopping head for it as well here. The John Deere does not have a chopping head. The only one that I know of is the New Holland head here. We'll take that. And let's see, what else do we need? Oh, some saplings. That would probably be good. Let's see, we need a skid of poplar saplings. These last for quite a while, by the way. Okay, I do believe that is everything we need. Let's grab a tractor here. Let's see, that is not a tractor. That is a tractor. That is the T6. Probably a little bit bigger tractor. Probably not this big. Oh, where's like the Massey Ferguson? Maybe that'd be good. There we go. Perfect. Take this tractor down to the shop here. Pick up our cedar and a pallet of saplings. And still planning on changing the maps here on the multiplayer server. It'll probably still be a few days yet. Looking at maybe the American Farms map. Or possibly the other American map. We'll have to see once one of those two. I know those two are fairly popular in the comments there for being suggested for a new map. And I at least have not taken the time to look at the new American Outback map. I don't know if it's the same as the American Outback from 15 or not. But we did look at the American Farms map, I believe it is. And that one looked like it was pretty good. Maybe not a very big map, but overall looked like a halfway decent map. Not sure why we got a cedar sitting down here for. That's kind of weird. Okay, there we go. And now we'll head out to field 33 here. And by the way, for the silage bunker up by the main farm there, it seems like every time I relog, it opens up further, or at least every time somebody else gets on, it opens up further as well. It looks like somebody else sold a slice of silage as well. And the reason I say slice, like I said, it seems like every time somebody gets on, or every time you relog, it opens up the next slice of silage there at the pit. Now, I think we want to go this way. We do. Haven't really been down to this part of the map that much. We did this, I think, once before on the multiplayer server. Didn't really do that much of it. it is a little bit, how shall we say, boring after a while. You know, we only got, I forget the width of this planter here. It's not very wide, and then, of course, the width of the header isn't much wider either, so... And let's see, where was the entrance to this field again? Up ahead a little bit further? Yep, there it is. Okay, now this field, yeah, the odd shape doesn't probably lend itself well for this. I think we'll just get a GPS line here set up, and we'll just start making a straight line here the best we can. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Get GPS set up here. I think that should be pretty good. Maybe we'll slide it over just a little bit. Interesting, the GPS says this has a width of 2.4 meters. Pretty sure it's actually narrower than that. Find out, I guess. Also, I don't know why. Last episode there on Sandy Bay, everybody said there was no audio, no sound from the game. I don't know why that was. I haven't really changed anything as far as my sound setup goes. And, well, it's possible for me to forget to record my voice. It seems unlikely that the game would not get recorded unless there's something wrong with the game. The only thing I can think of, and more than likely what happened, and this goes back to the multiplayer thing, and that Giants has not fixed yet. More than likely what happened, somebody joined, and then I lost my audio. That is a multiplayer bug there in Farming Simulator that has not been fixed yet. And I'm guessing that's what happened there last episode. Yeah, that's definitely not 2.4 meters, is it? Oh, looks like we were joined by Farmer Pro. Hello. On TeamSpeak, that is, not on the TeamSpeak server yet. You were cutting out pretty bad. Did you ask something?
I'll type right now.
Yes, I think we're going to maybe... Actually, you know what? It probably is actually a little more official doing it this width here. Then you don't drive over the saplings you just planted. It's probably the way it's supposed to be done. I'm not particularly familiar with this type of farming here myself.
I don't know why it's cooked. No idea.
And by the way, if you notice the momentary cut in audio there as well, that's if I tab out of Farming Simulator, then the audio disappears as well. I know that happens every now and then. Sometimes it's just purely accidental as well. I hit the wrong key and, oops, accidentally tabbed out of it. You know, tabbing between the vehicles or whatnot. Or sometimes, in this case, being on the multiplayer server, you know, if somebody's doing something in the chat on TeamSpeak there, which you can't see the chat up on the TeamSpeak window I have in the corner there. but I have it on the other screen. I can see the entire TeamSpeak window, and there's a chat window underneath of that for those of you not familiar with TeamSpeak. Which reminds me again, for those that would like to join the multiplayer server, the information can be found in the description of this video below. It seems like that is... I don't know what's so hard about that, but it seems like that is a point of confusion there. Where do you find the information to join the server? It is in the description of all my multiplayer videos. I'm not sure how to be much more clear about that. Like I said, it is a comment that comes up probably almost every week. Hey, where's the information? How do I join? I typically try to mention it every single multiplayer video, just if I remember to anyway. And like I said, that information is in the description of this video below. 2 download links for each server. First download link should download all the mods needed to join the server. Second download link will take you to the server download page. You can download the mods individually from there. And yes, if you are joining the multiplayer server, you need to have all the exact same mods the server has. That's just the way it is with Farming Simulator. So you need to have the exact same versions. And like I've said before too, we have edited several of the mods we have on the server here just to fix up any errors, try to get rid of as many errors as possible. So if you've downloaded the mod already from a different website, we might have a different version here on the server, so make sure you use the version that is off our multiplayer servers. That is rather important. Actually, if you want to join, it's very important. Let's put it that way. Okay, and we're back and joined by Farmer Pro here on the multiplayer server. And guess what? We're still planting trees yet. On our 3rd row. Not too bad. It's going. Yeah, it's going to take a while, isn't it? Like I said, I think at least I've only done this one other time on the multiplayer server. Actually, you know what? Change that. I have done it 2 times now. Well, actually, I've only planted twice, I think. I forget which map it was again. Oh, Gift of the Caucasus, I think. We did some of this. We were chipping the trees. That would be on server 1, by the way. And that's something, too, when joining the multiplayer servers. We do have 2 multiplayer servers. We got server 1. And server 2. Server 2 here is Sandy Bay. And like I said, server 2 here's the map will probably be changing up pretty quick here in the next couple of days, hopefully. My plan is we will not be doing a logging map on this server. Not to say we won't do a logging map, but it won't be on server 2 here. For those of you that join us on the multiplayer servers, you'll know we probably also have a 3rd multiplayer server. We kind of just use that as our test playing server to play with things, test things out. And what I'm thinking I might do, I'm going to set that up as the logging server, so we can just leave that logging all the time. Did you say something?
Oh,
Oh, okay. Sounds like Farmer Pro has a little bit of cutting in and out with his mic. But yes, we're... which one?
TeamSpeak.
Oh, yes, it does. It's probably a little overpowered. Or a lot overpowered, actually.
Yeah.
Perfect little truck for this map, though. Lets you get around the map.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, we're thinking we'll probably do server 3 there for a logging map. And like I said, that way we can just leave that server logging. And whenever we want to do a logging map, well, we'll just throw a new map on it. And typically, it seems like with the logging maps, they don't last very long. You know, week 2, maybe 3 weeks at the most. And then everybody's like, okay, that's enough logging. Let's do something else. So that way that server, we can just, well, we'll just leave it like that. And we'll come back in a couple weeks and, hey, new map. Let's try it again here for a little bit. Like I said, it's something that, yeah, people just don't seem to like to log constantly, which I can understand. I'm kind of the same way. You know, yeah, a week or 2 of logging. Okay, time for another regular map again. This way we can keep the regular map going and then do a logging map whenever we feel like logging.
changed the password on servers.
Why did we change the password for the server?
Yeah.
We typically do that every now and then.
Okay.
We'll add some additional numbers to it. It's listed in TeamSpeak, by the way, what the actual password is, so.
Thank you, Al.
And that's actually a good point that Farmer Pro just brought up there. The password to join the multiplayer servers, both servers are, actually all 3 servers are password protected. So if you want to join the servers here, server 3 typically is not up, by the way. Like I said, it's just our testing server, working with mods and stuff like that, testing out maps. We just kind of throw stuff up on there, just see what's going to happen, if it's going to work and whatnot. So that one's typically not up. But the 2 servers that are up are both password protected, and the passwords for the multiplayer servers can be found on TeamSpeak. The reason we do this is it forces you to get on TeamSpeak, and it also adds a kind of an extra protection for the servers, keeps the riffraff off for the most part. And by the way, you do not have to have a mic to join TeamSpeak. You can text, chat, and TeamSpeak as well. Nothing is required to join TeamSpeak. All you have to do is download the TeamSpeak client, which, by the way, is free. We get asked that question quite a bit as well. Is TeamSpeak free? Yes. To join TeamSpeak and download the TeamSpeak client, it is completely free. Completely 100% free. Costs you $0. So just hopefully that's clear there. Again, that's probably another question we get asked almost weekly. You know, how much does it cost to join TeamSpeak? TeamSpeak is free. Free is always good, right? Maybe not necessarily, but anyway. TeamSpeak servers, by the way, are not free. So for those of you wondering that, yes, TeamSpeak to join a server is free. It's the server itself, the TeamSpeak server, that is not free. So I think that's maybe where some of the confusion comes in. Not that you can't necessarily get free TeamSpeak servers. I think there are some free TeamSpeak server hosts out there, but they're like really small. You know, if you want to have like 2 or 3 people join you, you can do that. What was that?
I recommend a tractor map.
Oh, sure.
It's A 47,000 on mod hoster. I don't know if you have it or not. It's quite a good board.
Okay, do you have a link for it? If you do, just put it in TeamSpeak there. I'll check it out.
I don't, but I got it off another person's channel.
Oh, okay.
That's how I found out. It's on mod hoster. That's what I do.
Okay. Anyway, we'll read some comments here in a moment. Spicy was saying, I'm pretty sure John Deere and are made in Japan and South Korea. That could be. I know they're made in the States here as well. Actually, I don't know if all the components of the John Deere are made in the States anymore, but I do know they at least still make John Deeres here in the States. United States, that is. Beast was saying hi.
What will be next beyond the...
I did not catch what you said there. You can just type it in the game chat too if you want, if that's easier.
It's fine.
Leroy was asking, can you please show me how to get Courseplay? I've actually already have a couple of videos on that. So just make sure you check out the RDAllen homepage there on YouTube.
Probably just my name, Mike.
And yeah, if you go down to the how-to section there, you can find the Courseplay and how-to section. And like I said, I have videos there on how to install, download, and install Courseplay. And of course, I do have a link to the Courseplay download in my mod list as well. Again, mod list in the description for those of you wondering where I get the mods I have. At least most of them anyway. Like I said, with the multiplayer server here, I'm not the only one taking care of the mods here on the multiplayer server. So I don't necessarily have links to all the mods I have. Farming Gamer was saying, hi from Alabama, other side of the country. Just about the other side of the country. I would consider other side of the country, you know, like California, something like that. But definitely a little bit further down in the states here. Alabama. Yo was saying, love your videos. Thank you very much for that. Jed was saying you have audio on your train video. Don't know what those people were talking about. They were correct. The first one did not. I actually re-uploaded that video, and now it has audio. I don't know what happened the first time, why it didn't have audio. I have no idea. I went back, checked it, and there was audio, so it's like, well, I'll re-upload it and see what happens. John was asking, when are you changing maps for Server 1? Server 1, I think, is going to be up for a little bit longer. From what I've been asking, it sounds like Server 1's doing okay. I actually have not made it onto Server 1 here yet for that map yet. Seems like, you know, playing about 2 maps I find to be ideal, at least in my opinion. You start playing a 3rd map, it seems like it gets to be just a little too much. So playing 2 maps, I pretty much stick mainly to Server 2 that I play on. I have been on Server 1 a few times. But we kind of have like a group of guys that play on Server 1, and then we have a group of kind of plays on Server 2. VB Contracts is saying when you open up both ends of the pits, it messes up somehow, so don't do it. Yeah, now you tell me, right? But yeah, like I was saying, I should maybe just tab up here a moment. We got something we can get to? Yes, the John Deere. So yeah, last time I was on the server here, I think I had it sold up to here.
Is this any better?
Yeah, that actually does sound better.
Yeah, I just had it in place. I had the plug in the wrong place.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go in the back, not in the front.
Okay. Yeah, you actually sound a little bit louder. Yeah, I can see it's open. The next slice here is now open, so looks like we maybe have 4 more slices to open, maybe. Yeah, getting all the mics set up sometimes can be a little bit complicated, and then setting it up in TeamSpeak and all that good stuff.
You're gonna be selling silage?
No, I'm still working on planting trees yet.
Oh.
Amazing Run was saying a great video, and you should get a second harvester to get the harvest done faster. That is definitely the plan on hops. We'll probably be getting a second harvester, maybe more harvesters at some point. I don't think we'll get as get as crazy as Oklahoma was with it, but I don't remember how many harvesters we had there on Oklahoma again, but we had quite a few harvesters for the last video there. Was it 28 harvesters, if I remember correctly, I like to say we had lined up, or something like that. Maybe it was 24, 28 harvesters, I think. For those of you who remember that video there, harvesting field 13 there on Oklahoma. And again, before anybody asks about Oklahoma, no, it's not out yet that I know of. From last I've heard, it is being worked on. Supposedly the last update I heard, it's supposed to be released here shortly. So, don't know what shortly means, but... Skylar was asking, where can I download Courseplay? Again, mod list in the description of this video below. It is the github.com/courseplay/courseplay. And that is where you can download the developer version of Courseplay. And there are other websites that have Courseplay. I personally probably would not download it from any of those other websites. The only official Courseplay download that I know of is the GitHub. So like I said, personally, I would not download it from any of the other websites. I would only download it from the GitHub. That way you know you have the latest version of Courseplay. Again, it is the developer version, but that is the only version that is out there currently.
It's confusing.
What kind of mic are you using?
I'm using... It's a big one. It clamps onto the desk and comes out.
Oh, okay. Sounds like you might just have to work with the volume a little bit, get it better.
Starting at YouTube, it's quite good. The good thing is, it's quite easy to adjust when you're moving around.
Oh, okay. Also, a couple comments here from you folks pointing out the Big Bud DLC is coming out. Yes, it is. May... was it the first week of May sometime? I forget the exact date now here again without looking it up, but first week of May sometime, I believe it was. We'll have the Big Bud DLC. Definitely looks promising. For those of you who have not seen that, definitely check that one out, at least in my opinion anyway. I am looking forward to that one. Be some big equipment there. And again, for those of you who watch this channel for a while, you know that is typically what I go for. I like the big equipment, the big maps. So definitely looking forward to this DLC. Probably looking forward to the equipment more than the tractors, just because the tractors are sort of already available. Though I'm assuming these will probably be much better looking tractors. I know some of the big buds that are out there aren't the greatest looking, to put it nicely. There are a couple good ones, like the Big Bud 450 and the 950. It looked pretty good. I forget who the mod authors behind those were, but they did a really nice job on those. But the Big Bud 747s that are out there are so-so, in my opinion. But we'll probably have some good-looking Big Buds this time around. But yeah, definitely looking forward to the equipment. We got some big seeders, big cultivators, big plows. Should be promising, in my opinion. And again, not sure yet if we're going to put that on the multiplayer server. I know we kind of talked about it with the Coon DLC. But there again, if we put those on the server, that does require everybody on the server to have that DLC. And that is kind of, at least, why we don't do that. Ooh, getting a nasty leg spike there.
Whoa. I just realized that there was a plane.
Anyway, what are we at? Maybe half the field done here? Doesn't look like that much on the map. When you look at the map, it looks like I got a quarter of the field done, but it looks like more like half here, looking across the field. Maybe a small half. We are making progress. But anyway, with that, I think we'll wrap up the video here. If you folks have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them below. And just a reminder again, if you want to join us on the multiplayer servers, I would say step one for you, get on TeamSpeak first, and then we can work on it from there. And again, information for the TeamSpeak server is found in the description below as well as a download link for the TeamSpeak client. So you just have to download that. Again, you don't have to have a mic, so if you don't have a mic, don't worry about it. You can still join TeamSpeak. Like I've said before, we have several individuals that do not have mics that join us on TeamSpeak. Actually, I think most of the people that actually didn't have mics actually have mics now. Several of the ones that didn't have actually gone out and gotten mics. So that is pretty cool. They can now talk with us. You know, obviously they could chat before, but now they can actually talk. So it just makes the communication flow much, much easier. But anyway, folks, thanks for watching, and until next time.